All right, enough with the pleasantries. Let's get down to business with the Dream Makers and Book Breakers, the Wizard of Odd, Kenny White. And how about one more time for the two-time Bryant McFadden, host of the Cover 3 podcast, that is BMAC's podcast, All Things Covered, as our bevy of CBS Sports podcasts here bring us through the season. And BMAC, I want to start right off the top here, talking about the champs. You have shouldered the weight of a champion before. Going into that next season, after winning a Super Bowl, what are the Rams up against, not just tonight, but this entire season?
Well, every time the Rams step on the football field, the opposing team they're playing against, that's their best game. That's the championship game. That's the game they circled on their schedule because they're playing against the champions. And that provides a lot of pressure. But I think the Rams, they're well suited to handle that pressure. When you look at the experience on both sides of the football, they have that. When you look at the star power on both sides of the football, they have that as well, along with an outstanding coaching staff led by head coach Sean McVay. So this is a team that he's been putting together a string of successful seasons, going back to the first Super Bowl appearance when they lost under Sean McVay to the New England Patriots. Since then, they've been one of the more consistent organizations in the NFL, and being able to get back to the promised land a year ago and being able to accomplish that achievement was huge, and you better believe they're trying to do it all over again this year, as they said, running it back.
No doubt about it. This is a team with plenty of talent on that roster that remains, and a lot of those guys getting contracts as well. We'll talk about some of these early season trends when it comes to champions, Kenny, but there's a fine line between using that swagger to your advantage and letting it work against you. Are there any tried and true capper rules that you like to defer to when looking at defending champs early in a season, Kenny?
Yeah, the first game, Joy, the trends show that the Super Bowl champs do very, very well in week one, and I would understand why. That, you know, it's the adrenaline in that first week, but you have the target on your back. I like to fade the Super Bowl champions after week one for most of the season because they're always going to be overinflated. The line's going to be 1.5, 2 points higher on every game on that Super Bowl champ. Everyone loves the winner, and everyone's going to back it, and everyone's going to bet that favorite every single week. As long as they are a favorite, it'll be overinflated.
Speaking of expectations, the Bills opened the season as the favorite to win the ship for the first time since 1991. Current odds for the Bills to win the Super Bowl are at plus 600. BMAC, this is a team that has struggled to get past the Chiefs in 2 postseasons in a row. What is your confidence level that they could live up to the expectations this year?
It's extremely high because of Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen has an opportunity, guys, to be the best quarterback in the National Football League. If you go back to and look at that last game against Kansas City, they didn't lose the ball game because of Josh Allen in the offense. The defense had a letdown, 13 seconds to be exact. But when you look at Josh Allen, look at all the other guys surrounding him, not to mention adding Von Miller to the defensive side, Elam, first-round selection from the University of Florida to be able to get in the secondary, and eventually you get Tre'Davious White. This is a team that is loaded from top to bottom on both sides of the football, but it starts and stops with Josh Allen, and I believe he will have a huge year once again.
Well, that is the expectation for the MVP favorite as well.
Yes.
Time now for your pick to win, presented by Caesars Sportsbook and Casino. You know, when picking a side here, a couple trends need to be taken into account. Rams 5-0 straight up and against the spread week one under Sean McVay, but again, never in the face of the pomp and circumstance of opening night, guys. Rams also the 10th defending Super Bowl champion to be an underdog week one for the previous 5, won that game outright. But Kenny White, you once told me that trends don't pay the mortgage. Kenny, where should we be looking when we're assessing these game numbers tonight?
You know, first show that, the Rams at 11-1, that gives them a 9% chance to repeat. That's amazing. 1 in 10 shot, basically. And the Bills at 6-1, it's just a 15% chance to win a Super Bowl. So, you know, those are low numbers, and it's hard to bet at those prices. Tonight's game, again, Super Bowl champs. I'm guessing they know what the line is. I'm guessing they know they're the underdogs tonight playing at home. I think there's going to be a lot of motivation by this Ram team. Sean McVay giving him time to prepare. 5-0 as a head coach in the first game of the year. Very, very important in that first one. And I think the Rams are up to the task here. And I like teasers better in this situation because I can tease the Rams from 2.5 up to 8.5 and cross over 4 key numbers. And I've got 3 teams on Sunday I've teased them to. But I did take the Rams plus the 2.5 and plus 8.5 on teasers.
Yo, Kenny, I'm right there with you. Looking at the Rams and understanding they're the underdog in this ball game, total disrespect because they won a championship. You better believe they might be aware of that to some degree. But one thing I do know about this particular ball game, being able to experience quite a few times with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the atmosphere is going to be electric. I said this early on HQ. Whoever walks into that stadium rocking the blue and yellow, you better believe they're going to feel like a superhero, not to mention the guys that will have on the uniform. So that adds more more motivation. That adds more excitement into the ball game. So me personally, give me the Rams. And if you want to get a little spicy to provide some insurance for yourself, why don't you buy it up to 3.5? Because if the Bills win by a field goal, guess what? You still cover.
Katie, this is your first day working with BMAC. Loves buying points.
I buy points all
Nobody
the
buys
time.
more
Let's
points.
just spice it up a little bit.
A little bit of insurance goes along.
We all have insurance on our cars. We're supposed to, right?
Yes. And on our lives. We have insurance on our lives, so I agree with that. All right, if you're looking for explosive offenses, look no further than tonight's matchup. The Bills and the Rams both have strong passing games and superstar quarterbacks. The public tends to gravitate towards higher scoring affairs in primetime games, and tonight is no exception. Kenny, what is your read on the total currently set at 52?
Well, Katie, Joe always wants to know what the weather report is, and it's smoking hot in L.A. It's going to be 85, 86 degrees at kickoff. It'll be at least 80 degrees at halftime into the second half. That in L.A. is smoking hot. So tonight's game, it's going to wear down the bigger players. It's going to wear down the defense first. The offensive guys, I think, will have no problem making plays in this game because they know where they're going. So when it gets this hot, look for a high-scoring game, and I think it's going to be very high-scoring. We got two great offenses. I have the Bills' offense rated third best in the NFL. The Rams, number 7. Love both offensive lines. I think they're going to make some room for the running game to set up the pass tonight, and the pass is going to set up the run for both teams. I don't think there's going to be a struggle offensively. I think it's going to be back and forth, match scores. I could see both teams in this game getting over 28 points.
Well, I disagree with you, Kenny. You know, I hate doing that because you're my guy. But I feel like this is an under-the-cover type of matchup, and here's why. Both defenses I love, especially in the trenches. And one thing we know about the game of football is won and it's lost in the trenches. And when you look at adding Von Miller to the Buffalo Bills defense, you better believe he's going to put pressure on Matthew Stafford. And, of course, Aaron Donald, the baddest man in the planet right now, is playing for the Rams. And you know he has a target on Josh Allen's back, being able to harass and make things very, very difficult for him, not to mention 2 outstanding secondaries as well. So I easily see both teams scoring in the 20s, but when it comes to the total at 52, I'm not quite comfortable to take the over, so I'm going under.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and recap these picks. This is the matchup that you didn't think you would get tonight. It's the two-time versus the Wizard of Odds, and they are on opposite sides today. BMAC, the Rams and the under, while Kenny likes the Rams and the over. Coming up.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.